So the first thing I did when I figured out I was going to Japan was ask my dad to send me some boxes from his basement. And the reason why I asked him to send me those boxes is because they belonged to my late grandfather. And what was in those boxes was photographs. And they were actually slide photographs from a range of different times. And I knew that they were there because several years before I had, been poking around in the basement and found them. I remember seeing some pictures of people around the house and really nothing too eventful, but I also remember seeing a box called Japan. And so I knew there were some pictures in there from Japan, and when I got them and started to look through them, I got a lot more than I think I could have ever expected. What I actually ended up finding was pictures that began as early as 1951, 2 years before my father was born. And what would then turn into the growth of my grandfather as a photographer, just laid out very neatly and in very organized fashion from one carousel of photographs to the next. What started out as him just having a camera and using it around the house as a sort of way to kind of just record an event, to just make record of something that happened. But then carousel after carousel, I keep looking at these things and starting to realize quite a bit more. I started to see intent in his photographs, and they started to have a very real and very visceral impact on me. He was doing things like using negative space to create an immensity about an object that I thought was fantastic. He would use people in photographs, which was revolutionary to me because I never like having people in my photographs. I always try and keep them out of my photographs. But what I saw is that he used them to create scale. And he was able to create an immensity around an object by leaving the people in the photographs. There was other things that he would do that I really enjoyed being able to see, which was the way that he would use objects in a frame in order to frame the subject that he wanted you to look at, really kind of forcing you to see what he wanted you to see exactly the way he wanted to see it. And I had a lot of respect for that. The other thing that he did was he was able to get really candid moments from people that he clearly didn't know. And I was always just so impressed and really even jealous that he was able to get these warm reactions from people in these very singular moments. But once I was done looking at them, I realized that they weren't just good photographs. As time had gone on, as we reached a point now that was 30 years after the first photographs that I had looked at just before, you could see that he had progressed and gone on even above form and really started to just create images that had an impact. So I headed off to Japan with all this new knowledge and kind of energy that I had for capturing the image that he had taught me through these images. I set out to make a story about my heritage, which was from my grandmother's side, from his wife, and her father, who was from a place called Okayama, Japan.